What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling great today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just incredible, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy how yourself has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So the purpose of the channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Saturn, maybe even Uranus, Cancer, wherever, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler hit the good old moon. In Cancer, this is a special moon that's coming up here with this super full moon here, but we're gonna get into that in a second. But I'll talk about what we're gonna talk about the moon. We're gonna talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, and when she's going void of courses, all those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading. I don't know what that's about. This is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you. Leave the shenanigans with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be fantastic, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. In Cancer, the moon is in Aquarius today. And with the moon being in Aquarius, this is a very interesting placement for the moon. When I feel like I said about all the signs, but with the moon, when the moon's in an air sign, it is a very unique place for her to be because she's more about the feelings, and the air signs are more about the intellect, the logic. So you might be notice, Cancer, that you're feeling a little more detached, but that doesn't make you any less friendly, Cancer, because Aquarius energy is all about building those friend groups and performing, kind of melding with society, memberships, things along those lines. So great for if you've been wanting to join maybe a group, Cancer, maybe you've been just wanting to get out and maybe go to like a local community event or something along those lines. Go be social, can go spread the word around, share the knowledge that you have. Aquarius energy also is very inventive, very innovative energy, very eclectic, eccentric energy, Cancer. This is a great energy for really kind of being your true self there, allowing that let your freak flag fly, Cancer, and really to kind of tap into that more unique side of you, and that more sort of like innovative side, Cancer, because the nice thing about you, Cancer, even when when we look at people's charts, you can have people who have the same placements, but they express it, sure, there's some similarities, but how they tap into it is so different. And I feel like that there's a real kind of celebration in that with Aquarius energy. So, and also they're humanitarian sign, Cancer. So this could be if you've been thinking about doing some kind of volunteering, maybe doing like a beach cleanup, or maybe like a neighborhood thing, or just anything along those lines, Cancer. Great energy for that as well. And then you couple that with, Cancer, the full supermoon that's in Aquarius. Now the full supermoon, like the moon's gonna appear a lot brighter, Cancer, and a lot closer to us. And I feel that the fact that it's happening in Aquarius, I do feel like that it's like celebrating how we all, and this is kind of astrology according to Justin, but this is like, it's like celebrating, the how we all contribute to raising the vibration. How we're all, because Aquarius, again, being about the collective, they I always talk with them like that. They connect us all together, Cancer, and I do feel like it's, we can't do all of this stuff by ourselves. We come together as a soul tribe, and it's, and trying to create things and help others and figure out how we all are getting through this journey. I do feel like that's an energy to celebrate and really kind of, just give yourself just a hand for how you've just contributed to the world, and just say, I don't know, Cancer, I'm feeling a little sentimental here, that's really nice. But the full moon, Cancer, just even just on a smaller scale here, just like more individual, is about reaping the rewards that you've sown, and it's about celebrate. Well, right now we're on the waxing end of the full moon, Cancer. Let's take that time and really celebrate, and then when we start getting to the waning phase, then we could start thinking about the what we could have improved on and things along those lines. signs. But even if we're not quite where we're at, Cancer, still give yourself a round of applause, because at least you put in, it shows that when you want to change, you can put the energy in it to do it, Cancer. So I feel like that in itself is, it's just fantastic. So just something to think about there, Cancer. And then the last few things, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then the decks that I'm working with, that's a weird way to point, decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested, Cancer. But also down below are some links for some other readers that I like watching, so definitely check them out. Very cool group. See how we all, how the energies might be connected there, Cancer. Just something to think about there. But let's get to your first card here, Cancer, because you got the fifth card of Virgos, which is the headache card. And with this card, this is a card of poor health, dis-ease, illness, unpleasant, crisis, emergency, body signal, needing self-care, problem, root cause, annoying, disagreeable, something's off, pain, and underlying condition. So, Cancer, let me just start with this. This isn't medical advice, but the energies that are coming through here is the poor health, the disease, and the body signals. I feel that. And I do feel like, and this is what the lunar cycles are, I feel like are for paying attention to any areas that are really kind of affecting our journey and giving them that needed self-care. Like, let's say if we're the type that gets headaches often, maybe this is something where, and listen, Cancer, like, again, I'm no expert here, but it's like maybe it's like trying to reduce the lighting in the room, or like our exposure to lighting, or maybe even it might even need to be, maybe it's like something in our diet that might need to change, but it could be stress levels. It's a lot of things, Cancer. And I do feel that when we tune into these body signals, because sometimes too, we can get to this place where we know something's bothering us, but we still have, like, we're thinking about bills, we're thinking about whatever's that we're thinking about, we'll still kind of push through and ignore the bodies, ignore the dis-ease, and then there's this energy, like, it just, like, it compounds, Cancer. It becomes routine, and then before we know it, it's like it takes like a hanged man situation, or like a tower moment before it's like it just becomes exacerbated. So really pay attention, Cancer, to just any sort of routines. If we notice the body's been feeling really stiff, or maybe we've noticed that we've been kind of prone to sickness, maybe it's like maybe it's getting more rest, or maybe there's like incorporating maybe even more sort of like you can even work in some holistic practices, Cancer. Maybe talk with a medical professional, but maybe doing some different type of teas, or maybe doing some like steams, or maybe even working with some type of, just even like some alternative medicine, if we find that we're not even trying to, where we don't want to get on maybe any sort of like pharmaceuticals or anything along those lines, Cancer. But and I'm something too, Cancer. I just feel like there is, like, just thinking that Virgos, their energy does cover health routines, things along those lines. I feel like that there is a need to kind of look at our day-to-day lives, and maybe we can see if we can remove some things that are just bringing us, maybe we eat something, maybe spicy foods are starting to give us heartburn more, or something along those lines. Maybe the hangovers are hitting hard at Cancer, whatever that's looking like. But let's get some tarot on this and get some details, see how we can work with this energy. Alright, Cancer, let's see what we got here. Okay, Cancer, so you have the Five of Wands, the Ten of Crystals, the Knight of Crystals, the Page of Cups, and the Emperor here, Cancer. And and by the way, Cancer, the crystals are swords, and then the stars in this deck are pentacles. And with this energy, Cancer, I almost feel like that for some, that there may be this tendency of it's not necessarily that where we want to ignore the issue, but it may be, maybe for some it's the, let's say we've been noticing something for a while and there's this just we've been kind of putting it off, and like maybe we'll try this thing, or if it doesn't, I don't know, Cancer, it feels like that there's that if we've just been ignoring some things, and I don't think it, again, doesn't have to be anything serious, but it's just like, maybe we notice that we've been feeling more exhausted as of late, and then that leads to, maybe we've been catching more, getting sick. It's just like it's getting down to the root cause of what this problem is, but it does feel like we're just kind of, I don't know, we're pushing through, whether we're working or we're distracting ourselves or something along those lines. But I do feel like if we keep ignoring this stuff, Cancer, it compounds and it compounds and it compounds, and it just like it keeps building and building and building until we can't ignore it. You know what I mean? And it's, you know, it can get us into this place of like this conflicting energy where it's like we want to, we want to deal with something, but maybe we're like, it could be afraid of something you could be afraid of, what like be what that means. I don't know. That's just one energy that's kind of coming through, Cancer, and I feel that sometimes it's better to at least maybe remove the mystery from it. And Cancer, I would never tell you what to do, and this is a safe space, Cancer. But if there's sometimes there's that knowing that can provide that freedom where we may not have liked the news, but then we can do something different with it, Cancer. Even if this would be, oh goodness, I was just listening to someone talk about this, where it's like the person who, oh, I can't think of his name. Maybe it's Michael Fox. I think it is the guy he has was it Parkinson's, and then created this fund where, sure, it was something very tragic that happened, but he created something very beautiful from it. To try to treat something. So, and that's not saying that's what's going on here, Cancer, but I do feel that there is something that this the Page of Cups is like, it's giving me this energy of just paying attention to the flow of your body, really kind of tuning into you. And because no one knows the body better than you, Cancer, like no one. You're with you all the time. And when something doesn't feel right. And I feel that there's something here, like I feel like it's like we're thinking about like even like taking more charge for our stuff here. Maybe we're getting into more kind of preventative maintenance here, Cancer, where we're like, we're moving the body, we're doing eating properly, we're getting enough rest, we're maybe getting into some we're reducing the stress, where like whatever that's looking like. I feel that we can really get that stuff in a routine where it may not always be the funnest, and it's a hard road kind of working from that type of stuff there, depending on how this may be resonating, but it does get you to the state of feeling more stable in the long run here, Cancer, as opposed to like getting used to this disease. And because you see, I feel like that happens quite often sometimes, where someone is just like, well, I just, just happen to get headaches and it happens, or it's just like, and it's like there's got to be some like other things that maybe we can kind of explore here, can't that? Yeah, hopefully that, yeah, we'll leave that there, Cancer. But let's see what are going to be some challenges when working with this energy. Interesting, Cancer. Got the Devil here. Thank you. Let's see what else we got here, Cancer. Oh, couple kings here. So we have the Devil, the King of Stars, the King of Crystals, and the Three of Wands here, Cancer. And I feel like some challenges, sometimes it can be too, where it's like they're just thinking with the Devil, we have certain vices that we know that is bringing us doing, not promoting our growth here and bringing the body harm, disease, and things. But sometimes things can get so rooted, so ingrained, and so instilled in us that it is hard to change that mindset there, Cancer. And the Devil is Capricorn energy, our opposite sign, and it's going to take that work. And just even thinking too, you got some strong cardinal energy coming through here with the Emperor Aries, the Devil Capricorn. there's this need here, just like if the, because I mean, for example, Cancer, I used to smoke cigarettes, and it was thing picked up working in, you know, I, I always talk about how the restaurant started it, but I definitely continued it going for a little bit there, Cancer. And it's one of those things, even like talking with other smokers, like we know what's happening, but it's one of those things where you gotta take the initiative to change, to want to, because it's like, I had gotten to this point where I was living in Colorado for a spell, and the air's a lot thinner there, and was at one point just like, I could already, it's already was hard enough to breathe, and then throwing this on top of that, it's just like, Justin, what are you doing? So had to change things up. And yeah, was it tricky? Because it was a devil thing that was kind of on and off for years. And yeah, is it tricky? Is it hard work? Absolutely, but it gets easier, Cancer, the more routine I feel like you make it more, because the King of Stars, more Virgo energy here, rules the first two deacons of Virgo and the last of Leos. And I feel like that's something where, this disease and stuff, it doesn't just affect like your, just like your day-to-day, just like flow, Cancer, as far as like, just like the everyday things, but this affects like your manifestation, your creativity. It involves in all of that, because that one thing is just getting your whole focus there, and it restricts your expansion some, you know what I mean? So I do feel that if there's something that we've been struggling with, maybe to kick and things, it's to, one, I feel, make sure to be compassionate to yourself, be kind, because it's, those type of things, the devil situations, addictions, they happen to us all sometimes, in various different ways. How it translates, the devil situation translates differently in everyone, but still the devil all the same, and it can be overcome, Cancer, but it is just finding that flow to get out of this thing, to kind of get the body back in ease, and to just pay attention to the signals. And yeah. All right, Cancer. Let's get a little advice from Saturn and Uranus there. All right, Cancer. All right, last little bit here. Oh, interesting. Oh, Cancer. All right, Cancer. So we got the Chariot here. So we got the Chariot, the Fool, the Ace of Crystals, and the Knight of Wands here, Cancer. Let's switch back over, because I feel like with this energy here, Cancer, really kind of tune into yourself. I mean, the Chariot's here, and if there's something that's been kind of slowing you down, Cancer, and this could be a number of things. Maybe it could be something where it's just like, maybe our sleep routine's off, or maybe even like how we eat, Cancer, maybe that's off. Maybe we haven't been able to eat as much, or maybe we've been eating too much, or something along those lines. It's just like the flow doesn't feel like it's going as smooth, and it's just like maybe the idea of starting some, I don't know, it's like the idea of starting this thing, it's like it's on our minds, Cancer. I don't feel like you're just ignoring this, like you're just ignoring this just cause, or like that you don't want to. But I do feel like, that's interesting too, just even thinking about that it's, because the thing I'm thinking about is because you got the Devil, Capricorn, the Chariot, Cancer, that's forming opposition energy, and oppositions deal with the polarities and things, and it's just like it may not feel like the funnest option at first, Cancer, just even thinking, like if this was like a drinking thing, got to dealing with like the withdrawals and the all that stuff. It's not fun, but it's setting your future self up for success. It's getting into where at first it may be a bit of an adjustment, but it's just that we're going to notice how things are changing. And I'm even just seeing two, Cancer, because you do got like three of the four, yeah, right, 3 of the 4? I thought you had another Knight here, Cancer. But, I don't know, well, regardless of the fact that that even popped in my head, I feel like that it's not just the starting this thing, Cancer. I feel like it's the there it's like keeping that thing going, you know, because maybe it is something where it's like we get the idea like, okay, this is gonna be time I change, and then, you know, we get going for a little bit and then kind of get derailed a little bit, and then, you know, it's like that kind of back and forth, and it's just like, what can we do to really kind of lock that in, Cancer, to keep that thing going, you know, like, do we need to focus on this a couple lunar cycles here? Do we need to journal about it? Do we need a buddy with it? Like, how does that look, and how can we kind of tweak this just like a little bit more, maybe, to kind of get this thing, just get the where the body needs to be? Because this, and again, you know, Cancer, this could even be like spiritually, maybe we're feeling disconnected from source, maybe, or something along those lines. But pay attention to yourself, Cancer. You know, your emotions, your feelings. And I know it's a lot, you know, having to think about all the things all the time, but it gets easier the more, and I feel like there's a need to be present, you know, here. Like, maybe for some it's been, I don't it's interesting, Cancer, but and even, yeah, just because even just like three of the four cardinals, I feel like there's a need to really kind of really get this thing started, Cancer. But I'm gonna leave that there. But, you know, Uranus is about change, about freedom, you know, and that could be too. Just even thinking that like something may have a hold on us, Cancer. You do, you know, things only have as much power as we give them, Cancer. And listen, you know, I hope you know what that means. It's not that we're wanting to be in this state again. It's just that it's knowing that we do have the power to rise up and change it when we're ready to deal with that thing, Cancer. But that's where the devil comes in. It's just, he's just wondering when we want it. He's ready whenever we are, you know. It's so yeah, very, they believe that they're Cancer. So, but yeah, hopefully, I hope that made sense. But if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, Cancer, and just to let others know too. With that in mind, it's that we all do, like, we all have our something that we want, that we kind of struggle with, whatever that looks like, and it is a challenge, Cancer. And there are choices, you know, but that's nice though, because we're, even if we happen to choose like something that's kind of lowers our vibration a little bit, you don't beat yourself up. It's just like, okay, right, this is why I don't do this. And then keep it moving. And then learn from that and keep it moving. You know, and then just however that's look. That's the beauty of this journey, Cancer, the growth. And yeah, and share this, Cancer, if you know someone who's, you know, maybe kind of struggling with some things or something along those lines, Cancer. But yeah, something just yeah, maybe help them get eyes on something. And then subscribe, hit that bell button, get notified when I release videos each day. And then I'm on this meditation app, Insight Timer, and I started a group on there called Zodiacs Raising the Vibration. And it's just a group to post positive affirmations, encouraging messages, things along those lines. And then as the group grows, I'm going to start doing different healing music and guided meditations, things along those lines. I can name them different things. I go with like keeping the movement with the chair, that seems to be locked in there, or keeping it fresh with the fool. Oh, I kind of like that one. I like that one. You know, just check that out there, Cancer. And then lastly, check your sun, moon, rising. Check your Uranus, Cancer. Just check your whole chart. You know how I feel about that. And then come on over to my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do, and you know what, Cancer? That's something to think about too. To check your chart, you know, because there are sometimes it's like I have an opposition in with my Sun and Neptune are in opposition, like a really strong, real kind of tight aspect, one of my strongest ones, and I think is my strongest one, and it's some trickiness with those oppositions, and you can learn a lot about yourself and like the behaviors that tend to happen, what you're meant to learn on this journey makes a lot more sense, and why things start happening. So check your chart, Cancer. It really can bring some enlightenment there. And I'm in the process, Cancer. I'm still working it out, but I think I'm gonna start doing some like personal readings, and maybe doing some like chart analysis and things along those lines. So stay tuned for that, Cancer. Let me know what you think about that. I have a lot of big things that I'm thinking about, some moves that I need to make. I know I just moved, but I am making another move here soon, and some stuff that's coming up, Cancer. So yeah, let me know how you would feel about that, and then let's talk about some more over on both of the channels. But I do Alchemist Date. I do videos weekly there. That's the first I've talked about that, Cancer. So I'm manifesting that. We're making that happen. So all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here so I can get you out of here, Cancer. Yeah, Virgo. Here's the Hermit here, Cancer. And I feel like with this energy that there is, that maybe the cause, I'm feeling for some that maybe the cause for this disease and things may be something that's a little deeper, Cancer, than we may want to deal with, and that's why it's because we're not quite dealing with that. It may be something that's manifesting in a different kind of way, maybe through some kind of body ache, maybe through some sort of addiction, maybe through some kind of something. But it feels that there's, you know but I also kind of feel with this too, with the Hermit. Let me get your oracle card. The Hermit deals with, kind of that going within energy, and I feel like that there is a need to, maybe for some, again, to just really kind of pay attention to your vessel, Cancer, and see how everything's doing. Every time we're going void of course, just like really, really just tuning in and just like asking yourself, how am I feeling? A body check, and maybe even before we're going to bed, just like, like where's the body at? Where are the aches at? What am I feeling? Just like a once over every as often as you can, Cancer. And that's interesting that we were talking about smoking, Cancer, because you got the tobacco card, which is the 24th card, which is the offering, and this is ruled by Mars and by Pluto. And Mars is a planet of action, drive, and Pluto's transformation, change. And I feel like it's what are we offering? I almost feel like to ourselves, and how is that? Because, even thinking about like tobacco, that wasn't meant to be something where it was like where it is now, Cancer. It's like it was meant as something for a ceremony to convene with the spirits and things, and it's just like some stuff has gotten out. Things have just been done overly, and now I feel like it's really kind of paying attention to, again, what you're offering the body and how that and really paying attention to how that makes you feel physically, emotionally, spiritually, really kind of fine-tuning that there, Cancer. And when we, in Cancer, you might slip up every now and again. It happens, but it's making those gaps a little bit less, making those trips happen a little bit less and making the gaps a little bit bigger. You know what I mean? As long as there's growth that's happening from that, and you see noticeable, keep a marker there, Cancer. Maybe however that's looking, but very interesting energy there, Cancer. I like that. So something to think about. But you stay safe out there. Keep, again, not medical advice, but take care of yourself, Cancer. Preventive maintenance, however that looks like. I'm a big fan of that. Just like, yeah, absolutely take care of yourself, Cancer. Keep eyes on that moon. You won't be able, hopefully wherever you are, you won't be able to miss her since she's all up close and personal. Just like, hey, Cancer, looking at you, Cancer. So, and we're protecting her. I was reading a little bit about the super full moon, and just like, that can bring about a lot of healing energy, Cancer. So do a lot of healing stuff for yourself. And I will catch you on the next one tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, Cancer, just a sidebar, considering that Mars came up here, it's Tuesday, and technically that's Mars Day, so a little extra added synchronicity there for you, Cancer. See ya.